is Chantelle Fieber, and this is my ceremonial speech. I have my two audience members in the front, and my husband is going to be holding the camera tonight. So let's get started. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. I get to hear this quote several times a week as my daughter's very interested in the Lorax movie. Theodore Seuss Geisel is a man who most of us know as the author of the books that we read to our children or the stories that we heard when we were young. Although this man has passed on, this man known as Dr. Seuss lives on in our world today. Publishers Weekly published an article entitled Children's Bestsellers, March 17 through 23, 2014, which puts Dr. Seuss books in 11 of the 25 spots for America's best-selling children's picture books. It also lists Green Eggs and Ham as selling over 200,000 copies year to date. Dr. Seuss continues to influence generations. Throughout this speech, I will be giving 3 reasons why I believe this to be true. The first reason is because Dr. Seuss produced a variety of creations. Second, Dr. Seuss teaches life lessons. And thirdly, Dr. Seuss is still well known today. So let's move on to my first main point. Dr. Seuss produced a variety of creations. Dr. Seuss Enterprises ran by Dr. Seuss's wife Audrey, and they run a website called catinthehat.org. In their article and bibliography it states that Dr. Seuss or Theodore Geisel started writing for the Jack-O-Lantern, a humor magazine, while attending Dartmouth College. This is also where he started signing his work as Seuss and then as Dr. Seuss. He also created 11 TV children's specials, a Broadway musical, and feature-length movies based off of his books. Random House LLC is the company that published most of Dr. Seuss's books. On their website, Seussville.com, they include a bibliography by Philip Nell. It states that Dr. Seuss created an ad for Flit insecticide, which he became very well known for, which says, "Quick Henry the Flit." He also created ads for NBC, Ford, General Electric, and many other companies. On the website it states that he created 66 books if you include the ones that were illustrated by others, written under another name, or co-authored, and only 5 of these books were written out of rhyme. From books to cartoons to movies and Broadway musicals, Dr. Seuss has reached many audiences. To review my first point, Dr. Seuss produced a variety of creations. Now let's move on to my second point. Dr. Seuss teaches life lessons. Nell tried to convey the messages Dr. Seuss has always been trying to get across in his bibliography. Dr. Seuss's first wife, Helen, was unable to conceive children, so although he was very good at writing children's books, he was unable to have children of his own. Dr. Seuss tried to make the best out of a bad situation. One year for Christmas, he brought the neighborhood kids together, and they took a family picture for their Christmas card, and then he signed it, Ted, Helen, and the Kitties. He also created political cartoons that mocked the idea of discrimination that were happening during World War II. They mocked the idea of discrimination and the leaders like Hitler who believed this idea to be good. Yertle the Turtle and the Sneetches mock these ideas. The Lorax is a book that he created for the ideas of concern that he had during that time. The Lorax is an anti-greed, anti-pollution, and also teaches us to conserve our resources. The Butter Battle book also describes nuclear weaponry that became a huge issue when Ronald Reagan was in office. DrSeussArt.com, another website that has a copyright from Dr. Seuss Enterprise as well as Dr. Seuss properties, says that in 2012, Dartmouth Medical College dedicated their medical school, which is one of the nation's oldest medical schools, to Theodore Geisel and his wife Audrey. Wiley Sauba, the dean of the medical school, says that Ted and Audrey Geisel's work and life serve as timeless example for our future physicians. It also mentions that in 2010, Life Books published 100 People Who Changed the World and stated that Dr. Seuss was a cultural icon for creating educational literature for all ages. Now let's review my second point. Dr. Seuss teaches life lessons. On to my third and final point. Dr. Seuss is still well known today. Diane Roback published an article in Publishers Weekly in 2013 saying, "Hats off to Seuss." She states that 281 people gathered to the New York Public Library for the 75th anniversary of the 500 Hats of Bartholomew Covens. Each one of these audience members wore a Dr. Seuss hat which claimed a new world record. It also states that sales were up 50% so far for that year, and over 600 million copies of the books were sold, including 30 different languages in 95 different countries. Random House's Seussville.com states that in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is the hometown of the author, is where Dr. Seuss National Memorial Sculpture Garden is located. It includes sculptures of Geisel with the Cat in the Hat, the Lorax, Yertle the Turtle, Horton the Elephant, as well as the Grinch and his dog Max. It also states that the Dr. Seuss Foundation contributes to over 100 medical, cultural, and socially active organizations. It also adds to the pleasant memory of the author. Reviewing my third point, Dr. Seuss is still well known today. So let's bring it all together. With Christmas season upon us, I find myself watching seasonal movies. One of my favorites that I watch with my daughter, that I also found myself watching with my parents, is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I'm very fond of the book, the older movie, as well as the newer movie starring Jim Carrey. I love the lesson that Dr. Seuss portrays in this movie. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. With that, I would like to honor this amazing man. Dr. Seuss continues to influence generations. The 3 reasons I believe this to be true is first, Dr. Seuss produced a variety of creations. Second, Dr. Seuss teaches life lessons. And third and finally, he is still very well known today. Thank you.